Hey, what's going on, guys? It's another episode of Light Sports Breakdown. In the last video, we talked about the NBA. This time, I wanted to shift it more towards the NFL. There's a lot going on. The schedule just got released for the upcoming season, but I want to talk about that in a later video. This time, I want to talk about how longtime Carolina Panther Cam Newton, he was released on March 24th, and it is currently May 8th, and he has still not found a new home. Is it because teams are not interested in him, or is it because he hasn't found the right situation? There's three destinations that I wanted to talk about with who I think should opt to sign Cam Newton, but obviously their current situation prevents that, maybe, or it's something that will have to develop later on. But it is rumors that Cam Newton wants to wait it out throughout this year, and if an injury arises to his starting quarterback, then plug in and be the quarterback for that team. I think that's a good idea, but then I feel like it would just only fit the short term. Depending on how well Cam Newton would do on his new team, then he would obviously have to find a new home. Maybe a team would pay him, and he would get paid again. But it would just be on the short term, because then after the season would be done, their former starting quarterback, after he got healthy, they would have him again, and they wouldn't need Cam. So it would be a good and a bad. It would be good because he could reset. He could prove to the league that he deserves to get paid again and that they should believe in him. But in the bad, it would be short term. He would only be there for however many games they have left in the season, and then they would move on from him, depending on how he did. Stephen A. Smith believes that he should sit out the whole entire year, that he should not settle for a backup role, and that he should wait. And I kind of agree with him, because Cam Newton is definitely not a backup. Cam Newton definitely has a lot to offer in this league. And I think ever since his 2015 season, when he got the MVP and he led the Panthers to a 15-1 record and the Super Bowl, obviously we know the story. The Denver Broncos, their defense was lethal, and they prevented Cam Newton from getting that. But I still think Cam has a lot to prove, and I'm going to tell you the three situations that I think would be good for him. The first situation I think would be good would be the Chicago Bears. Obviously, my opinion of this destination has changed a little bit due to them trading for Nick Foles, and he still has 3 years left of his $88 million contract. It's been restructured because they traded for him, so I don't know the specifics on his new contract. But they still have him, and they have Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky obviously led them to the playoffs that 1 year, but we all know that Cody Parkey missed that field goal against the Eagles, and they end up losing that game. And he hasn't really had a good year. Last year, he would overthrow the ball, make bad decisions, and the offense just looked all over the place. So I feel like Cam Newton would have been a better option there rather than Nick Foles, but they decided to kind of challenge Mitchell Trubisky with Nick Foles, and they obviously didn't pick up his fifth-year option on his contract, so he's a restricted free agent, and he could be a free agent after this season. The next team I believe that would be a good option would be the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, they've had this tryout for quarterback for a couple of years now. They've been drafting quarterbacks, and none of them have worked out. They obviously got Joe Flacco. He was injured last year. And then Drew Lock came in. He was a rookie quarterback. He had a good rookie year. They believe that he could be the face of the franchise now and take them to the promised land. Ultimately, they haven't been there since Peyton Manning retired, so they just need to find their guy, and they seem to like Drew Lock a lot. I think he is a good player. I think Cam Newton still is better than him because of how young and raw the quarterback is. So I think if they signed Cam, it would be good to kind of challenge Drew Lock to prove himself that he deserves the starting spot. But also, it would be kind of bad because if he didn't get the starting spot, that could affect his confidence. And if Cam Newton, say, starts and does bad or gets injured and then they go back to Drew Lock, sometimes the quarterback doesn't recover from that after the team, in essence, gives up on them and gives the reins to someone else. So it could be a good situation and a bad situation for Drew Lock. So I think Denver would be a good option, but I don't know if it would the risks are worth it. The last team I think that would be a good situation for Cam Newton would be the New England Patriots. TB12 left, the GOAT, and they are opting to go with Jarrett Stidham. They didn't get a quarterback in the draft. They didn't get a quarterback in free agency, and they apparently they have a lot of confidence in him. I don't really know much about him because obviously it's just been TB12 the whole entire tenure there in New England, so we haven't really seen flashes of other quarterbacks besides their old quarterbacks like Jacoby Brissett or Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's hard to say how this kid will do. I mean, I hope he does well, but I think Cam Newton would have been a good option if they signed him, if they wanted to reset. But the Patriots never really went through a rebuild because they had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I mean, now it's just Bill Belichick and the new guy. So it's hard to see how they're going to do this year. I mean, obviously their expectations are very lower because they don't have Tom Brady, but I mean, they have a lot of confidence and they believe that Jarrett Stidham is the successor to Tom Brady. But with Cam Newton on the team, I think they would win a bunch of games and I think they'd still be a threat in the AFC. But I don't know. They decided not to sign him, so it's hard to see if New England is an option later down the road. I do believe that Cam Newton still can play, and I think that he deserves a chance in the league. And I hope he gets a chance sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Social distancing. I really appreciate it, guys. Have a wonderful day.